Max Verstappen says Australia was a decent starting place for Red Bull, with the Dutchman admitting his second was one place better than he should have been had both McLarens finished 1-2. Red Bull brought 17 upgraded parts to Melbourne's opening race, which was the most of any team on the grid. Haas was next with 13, just ahead of Green Squad Aston Martin on 12. Verstappen admitted before the event that Red Bull was behind McLaren, with the squad now set to focus on its tyre wear.
I think it's always important to be positive, but I do think that we still need to find a bit of lap time to fight for a win. But yeah, we'll see how it goes this weekend.
Aussie driver Jack Doohan gave his Alpine teammate Pierre Gasly a real taste of local sport ahead of lights out in Melbourne, with the pair heading to Australian rules football club Carlton. The drivers met up with players from the inner city club for a kick-to-kick ahead of the race, which was a tough one for the team, with Gasly 11th and Doohan crashing out on lap 1.
Amazing to meet a lot of the boys, teaching us really their craft, and honestly it's been a great experience. So I'm super happy to be here and to come into your world.
That was amazing. First time I got to kick in Australian football. I'm usually used to like a more rounded one, so yeah, it was great to just get a feel for it and obviously get tips from these guys, which I have a huge respect for.
Former Red Bull Racing sporting director Jonathan Wheatley is set to join transitioning squad Sauber from Japan, where he will take up his position as team principal from April 1st. Wheatley, who was an integral part of Red Bull for almost 2 decades, just missed out on a chance to sign the Concord Agreement for Sauber, which all the teams agreed to over the Albert Park weekend. Mercedes boss Toto Wolff has called out his current driver lineup as the future of the team, and that signing a new deal with George Russell, not Max Verstappen, is the priority ahead of the summer break. Russell is out of contract at the end of 2025, and rumors that the team is after Verstappen dominated last season. But on the eve of the Australian Grand Prix, Mercedes preached stability in the medium term.
We're focused on getting Mercedes back on top and trying to win races and win championships. And to be honest, in this sport, the performance speaks. So from my side, there's no pressure. I've got no doubts about myself, and everything falls into place when the timing is right. And as I said, we've got bigger fish to fry right now, which is getting us back on top.
The 2026 F1 grid is already filling up, with 6 of the 11 teams completed. Mercedes, Cadillac and Racing Bulls have both seats unconfirmed, with Red Bull and Alpine having a seat each. Ex-F1 driver Romain Grosjean says that George Russell already proved himself as the de facto team leader at Mercedes last season, though he has big shoes to fill in that role. Russell outperformed Lewis Hamilton last year at Mercedes, with the Brit 19-5 in qualifying and 15-9 in races. And Grosjean, in a chat with official podcast F1 Nation, says that set up Russell perfectly for 2025.
For me, it started already kind of last year, where you could tell that he was becoming the lead Mercedes driver. He was the one qualifying always at the front. He has big shoes to fill, but I feel like it's been quite a smooth transition, because on the sporting side last year he was already the one taking the most of it.
Russell was ahead of his new rookie teammate Andrea Kimi Antonelli in all sessions at Melbourne's Albert Park. McLaren's Oscar Piastri got his home race off to a great start, with news he'd signed a multi-year deal extension with the Papaya squad that will see him stay at Woking for the foreseeable future. It's been reported that Piastri's deal will take him through to 2028, with a rumored boost in his base salary that is said to put him on par with his teammate Lando Norris, around $20 million. Piastri's deal, along with other recent key personnel extensions like aero boss Peter Prodromou and team principal Andrea Stella, ensures McLaren has the stability to build on its success and also puts the Aussie driver out of reach from its rivals after the rules reset next year. Piastri, speaking at an event for McLaren sponsor Air Wallach ahead of the race weekend, said he was excited to remain in Papaya.
So I think this year I'm going into the season knowing that my best last year was good enough to be the best on the grid. It's now just about trying to put that in place every single time I'm out on track. We've done a lot of hard work personally and also with the team on how we can try and achieve that.
New Red Bull Racing driver Liam Lawson says Sergio Perez's downfall at the squad was most likely due to a drop in confidence. Checo was Max Verstappen's teammate for 4 years, but mistakes and poor pace saw him replaced by Lawson, who himself crashed out of his first race for the team, a nightmare for the Kiwi. But Lawson, in an interview with official podcast Beyond the Grid, says only Perez will really know what went wrong.
It's more mental than anything, I would say. It's more just a confidence thing, not being able to confidently throw the car into a corner and know what you're going to get. So, but ultimately, he's the only person that will truly know that.
'26 F1 entrant Cadillac has named ex-Sauber driver turned Ferrari reserve Zhou Guanyu as an option for its second seat, alongside rumored favorite IndyCar driver Colton Herta. It's no surprise that Zhou, who had 68 starts for Alfa Romeo turned Sauber, is now being considered by F1's 11th team, given that he's currently managed by Cadillac team principal Graham Loudon. But the Brit says the correct checks and balances are in place, so there would be no favoritism, with the decision made on merit alone. Sergio Perez and Valtteri Bottas are also in consideration, though Loudon says Zhou has a key difference. What makes it quite useful for me is he doesn't necessarily need to explain the background of his abilities, because I've had a front row seat to see all that, so that's a benefit, he said. '97 F1 World Champion Jacques Villeneuve says Sauber rookie Gabriel Bortoleto has the easiest and safest position in the sport, given he's in a team with no expectations this year. Bortoleto is one of 6 rookies in 2025, the most since 2001, but all have varying levels of pressure, with Liam Lawson at Red Bull alongside Max Verstappen and Jack Doohan fighting for his drive. But Villeneuve says Bortoleto has room to grow at anonymous Sauber. Everybody is just there waiting to see how it is against Hülkenberg. And if he's clever, he'll just take his time and learn from him, because nobody will pay much attention, with Sauber being at the back anyway, he said. Bangkok could be F1's next race host, with the sports supremo Stefano Domenicali set to visit the Thai capital this week. F1 is now setting its sights on expansion within Asia, with the US market satisfactorily serviced by 3 events in Miami, Austin, and Las Vegas. F1 already has 3 Grands Prix running in Asia, including China, where the sport is headed as part of an opening doubleheader. F1's owner Liberty Media has spoken about a future Asian expansion as far back as 2018, when it was hoped that Hanoi in Vietnam would be its next destination race.
Asia is clearly very important overall to our future. It's really important. It really is the driving engine of the world's future. So as we look to grow the sport in Asia, We want to be in countries that we really think are going to be the engines of growth and the engines of excitement.
Thanks for watching. To stay up to speed on all things Formula One, make sure you hit the subscribe button.